Welcome, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Jared.
This is Why Conversations, where we inspire,
engage,
uplift,
and motivate change around our whys.
Brought to you by YMCA of Delaware, Spark Studios. Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone to Why Conversations. Today is a great day. I have some special guests in the studio with me today, and I'm going to give them a few minutes to introduce themselves. And we're going to be discussing teen programming today, and we're going to be talking about teens and where can they get the assistance that they need, and what are the things that they're doing, and what does the Y offer for our teen programming. If you haven't already, as our listeners have, if you haven't heard, we are the talk of the town. We are streaming on all platforms right now. I am so excited about that. We dropped another episode today. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't listened, tune in. We are making moves. We are uplifting, motivating, and encouraging our listeners. So I'm just going to go dive right in. I have a special guest with me, one of the special guests who I work with on a day in, day out basis. And I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself so you'll know exactly who he is and what he does at the Walnut Street YMCA.
Hey everyone. My name is Gau-Wan Smith. I am the Teen Director here at the Walnut Street YMCA. It is awesome to spend this time and speak about one of my passions, in which are teens, right, and how we support our teens, how we love on our teens, and how we ultimately build them to being the leaders of tomorrow. So thank you so much for having me.
Right. And it's awesome to have you, Mr. Gau-Wan. Can't wait to kind of dive right into some of the things that you have going on here at Walnut Street. And we have another guest in the studio with us. And I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself and tell us what she does and where she's located at.
Hello all, my name is Ebony Tessin. I'm the Teen Program Coordinator over at the Bear YMCA.
Hey, Ebony.
Hey.
Welcome. So I'm excited, and we're going to get right into our discussion around teens. And I have some questions and some things that I want to kind of bring out to the forefront. My first question is to both of you. What are some of the challenges that our youth are facing today? Mr. Gau-Wan, if you can go ahead.
Challenges, yes. Our teens, our youth, this generation, first and foremost, are definitely different, right?
Different.
They have a whole different life in front of them. I would say one of the challenges that we deal with is the teens and their self-esteem, the teens that are in their confidence, and our programs are geared to helping to improve and support the teens in that light. So confidence and self-esteem is also a reflection of what they may see on their everyday lives through social media or their friends and their peers. So I would definitely say confidence, self-esteem are two of the main challenges that we see in our teens. And it's ultimately a focus that we try to, hone in on when it comes to providing support, providing enrichment through our programs.
Awesome. And Ebony, what would you say are some of the challenges that you see at your location that teens are facing today as well?
I will have to agree with Gau-Wan, but also I would say mental health with our teens is extremely important and it's serious. I have some that are dealing with severe anxiety and depression. A lot of my teens at the Bear Y, they come to me, talk to me, and let me know what's on their mind. I want it to be an open place for our teens at the Bear Y, because not all kids have that.
Right.
So that's one of the challenges. And then finding a space for these teens to have a space of their own that they can call their own.
Right. And I would say I think both of you can agree that teens today are different than teens of yesteryear.
Yes.
Right. So there's a lot of things that they face, just like how you say self-esteem, the confidence and mental health. Those are some of the things, when I think about my generation, we didn't kind of worry about that. We had a whole different life going on. But there are a lot of things that they are facing that we have to kind of interact and put ourselves in the middle of it to kind of help them out and get to the next place in their life. How does the YMCA engage the youth for today? Like, what are your programs, Mr. Gau-Wan? What do you do to engage the youth and keep them motivated and uplifted?
Yeah, so we have various programs over at Walnut. I'll name a few. We have our aftercare or after teen after school program where the teens can come in after school. We have, of course, teen camp. We have a teen workforce development program, extended hours, Black Achievers. So we have various opportunities for teens to come and not only get enrichment, but to come, be their self, hang out with peers, socialize. And we ultimately like to call ourselves that hub, right? That place where teens can come and not only, get growth or grow, but also just have a place to call their home. So in these various programs, we provide enrichment. For example, our after-school teen center program, we provide enrichment, academic support. We do social and emotional growth as well.
Okay.
We have guest speakers and partners that come in to facilitate various workshops for the teens and give them an opportunity to grow themselves. But on the other hand, they come, they meet people, right? So they build relationships, long-lasting relationships with various peers that they have. We have awesome resources for them to come and, watch TV, play basketball, eat dinner and lunch and things like
at
that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I like that.
They love the Chick-fil-A. So ultimately, all of our programs is meeting the teens where they are and giving them the support that they may need, that we know that they need to grow and be the best them.
True.
I agree.
What are your thoughts on that around your YMCA and how do you gauge the youth of today?
Yeah, same. Like Gau-Wan spoke, I also run a workforce there. I also do teen nights every second and fourth Saturday of the month. Actually, I have it tomorrow, but 2 Saturdays ago, I had over 100 teens come.
Oh, wow.
To teen night, yes. A different plethora of schools, middle schools, Gauger, Kirk, Middletown High School, Caravel, Sanford, Apple, St. George's. All these teens came, and it was a good time. Provide pizza, snacks, water. We have a PlayStation TV up for them. Let me see what else. Most of the teens, they like to go to the gym, play basketball.
Right.
I also have another program called WOW, stands for Working on Wellness, and that is geared to our middle school children working on their wellness. I have different facilitators come out and speak.
Okay.
Talk about mental health. I have resume building actually for these middle schools. We talk about financial literacy. So a lot of these things that they may not get in school or at home, they can get here at the Bear Glasgow Y.
That's awesome. Over 100 teens, that's awesome.
Yes.
And I think on Friday nights, Mr. Gau-Wan, you can attest to that at Walnut Street for the extended hours program. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit for extended hours and how many teens we normally have here and what happens here on Friday and Saturday?
Extended hours, we often like to refer to that as the bump. they come by, they party out. So extended hours is our safe haven based program for teens 13 to 17. We're open on Fridays 6 to 9 and Saturdays 12 to 9 here at the Walnut Street YMCA. And it is that hub. It is that opportunity for teens to come into our building, and they have access to our teen center and our gym, and they are ultimately the only ones in the building. And this is their spot to relax, to socialize with friends. They might put some Netflix on or, the football game. They'll be in the gym playing basketball. So this right here is the outlet. It gives them an opportunity to get away from, maybe tough situations at home or around their neighborhood, a stressful week at school.
Right.
It gives them that opportunity to, come into our Y and just let free. And of course, in addition to letting free and relaxing and playing basketball, we do feed them a nice dinner as well.
Right. And that's
Chick-fil-A.
That Chick-fil-A. That's what they offer, right?
Yes.
So it's amazing things that are happening at your Y, Ebony, and here at Walnut Street, Mr. Gau-Wan. But I really want to understand and know your why. Like, what is your why story? I'm going to start with you, Ebony. What is your why story?
So my Y story, actually, I've been working at the Y for 7.5 years, but I've been going, I'll say my oldest is 20. maybe 16 years.
Okay.
Started off first actually doing it was, financially was a little tough. 3 small kids. My husband and I, we did open doors, and my
Okay.
kids started at the Y. They did everything that was there. Soccer, ballet, hip hop,
Right.
basketball. They did all of
Everything,
that.
right?
Yes, everything. And it was, financially right for us. After that, I really grew to love the Y, and I was like, well, all my kids are, now they're not babies. They're in elementary school, so I
Sure.
can go out and I can work. Started working at the Y part-time, did adult fitness, youth. Actually, when I first started working for the Y, they sent me to Chicago, and I thought that was amazing.
Okay.
Yes, it was a program called Healthy Weight in Your Child. That's what I started off doing. Really good program. Then I just grew to love the Y even more. The teen programs, were starting to pick up, and that's where my heart is with the
Okay.
with the teens.
And I can hear that.
Yeah,
I can hear
it's
that.
definitely
Yeah.
with the teens, and I think I stay up on how everything's going because of my 3 kids. One's 20, 16, and 15, so they let mom know what's good and what's not.
That's an advantage.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Gau-Wan, what's your Y story?
Oh man, I started off in the Y in 2012. It was the summer of college, so I was home, wanted a summer job, and one of my greatest mentors, Mr. Rodney Caney, he was the behavior specialist here for summer camp.
Okay.
So it was middle of the summer. He said, "Hey G, come work for the Y." Came over to the Y, and at this point, I really didn't have a lot of youth development experience or working with students. A lot of my first jobs were working at Modell's, and I was a sports guy, so in retail. But that was my first experience working with students, and I would say I'm shocked on even being called back that next summer, because my first summer as the summer camp counselor, it was rough. Like when I say I was here and I was just in the corner, I was quiet, and it was a tough summer for me, but I got called back the next year. I got that experience that first year, so it gave me a little spark that second year, and I also had an awesome co-counselor who, turned out being someone else, but at the end of the day,
Right.
it was a great experience. So started off in the Y in 2012, been there for about a few years. I worked at the Dover Y as well in the fitness department. So I did when I went to school at Wesley College.
Okay.
So I worked at the Dover Y and also went into youth fitness as well. So got some youth fitness experience. I came back to Walnut. I worked in membership. I kind of did everything.
Little bit of
Everything.
Yeah, yep,
I think
little bit of
same year,
everything.
had that same story.
Yep, a little bit of everything. So that was also, a great experience for me, learning different components of the
Right.
Y and what all goes into the Y as a whole. So I definitely love working with the students. I was in the school age department for a long time. Summer camp, I ended up being a behavior specialist one year, and then growing over to teens. And that's ultimately where I found my love at in regards to, just the type of students that I like to
Right,
engage with.
right.
The teens are super special, one, because they are literally the leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Those teens, they're 16 and then they're 18, and
Yep.
then now we have to rely on them to run our Ys and to be here for our students. So that is my Y story in a nutshell,
And I
small
think-
version of it.
Yeah, and I always think that the Y just happens upon you. Like you start here small, like you
Yes.
start out at membership like I did, and then the next thing you know, you're like, okay, what else can I do here? What else can I partake in? So you kind of move in different phases, and then you find your niche.
Yep.
And you know that this is where I should be. So did either one of you ever imagine yourselves being in the roles that you're in now?
I'll go first.
Okay.
No, definitely
Okay.
no, definitely no. When I think about the, as I said, my first year at the Y, I was a summer camp counselor, and I was a terrible summer camp counselor.
Okay.
To
and I
be-
see that you said that really low. I
Yes,
was
yes. When I was, you think about that teen that's just in the back, not really engaging with the kids, and didn't really know what to do.
Right.
That was me. So I definitely, if somebody would have told me 10 plus years ago, like, hey, Mr. G, one day you're going to be the team director, and I would have been like, no, that never would have happened. So I would have not thought that I would be here. And ultimately, I was a sports guy, and I played football, and even at college, I studied kinesiology, so I wanted to be a physical trainer, and I wanted to go into coaching and things like that. So I never would have thought I would be here. But of course, God had a different plan.
Different plan. Different plan.
Yeah, I found myself here at the Y. I found a wife at the Y. So it's been
all right now.
It's been a great journey.
That's great. That's great. So it's funny because as you're talking, I'm thinking about when I first started, and I can remember walking in these doors and just like, I've never worked for a youth facility before, and I've never been around that many teens all at one time and trying to understand their feelings and trying to deal with my own feelings, because all I wanted to do was get a membership so I can go work out. That's it. So if I got to check you in, but now I got to deal with who you are, where you come from. So it allowed me to see teens and this place in a different way, that it kind of ignited something inside of me, and I wanted to know more. So did you ever see yourself doing the role that you're in now as well?
I'm going to
Ebony?
be honest. I'm going to say no. I was a pre-K teacher, actually. So I didn't see myself working with the youth, with the teens, but I've always been good with working with children. I'm sorry. It's my passion.
Okay.
I extremely love working with our youth, and they need us.
Yeah.
They need us.
They do. I think we was having a conversation yesterday about teens and trying to feel them out in the transition of their feelings, their emotions, and how hard that can be of, like you're trying to lead them down the right path and give them the right information, but they're kind of, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not where I want to go. How do you face that? How do you kind of interact or engage someone who you see that you're just trying to give them the right thing, to the right way to go,
right,
the right thing to do, but they're just giving you everything else but that? They don't want to hear that. How do you kind of not persuade them, but get them right back on the right track?
So with me, I'll go, honestly, I don't sugarcoat anything for these teens. I give it to them raw and real. They're like, okay, Miss Eb, or they call me Mama Eb. Like, they know. I'm like, look, guys, I may share stories with myself or even my kids,
Right.
I'm just very transparent and I'm honest with them.
Okay. What is your feelings about that?
That's key. That's key. And I 100% agree that you have to be real. You can't sugarcoat. And when you think about it, I always like to look at life, right? The real life story, or the real life, how things will look in life. In life, you have to be real with yourself.
Right.
In life, you have to know that things may not always work out the way that you wanted to work out, but at the end of the day, you have to adapt. You have to push through.
Right.
Yep.
A word I love to use is adversity. So how do we overcome adversity?
Right.
How do we overcome being told no?
Right.
Things like that. So definitely being real and not sugarcoating anything with the teens, because at the end of the day, in a year or two, you are on your own.
Yeah.
Right? You're 18. And if you can't deal with the real right now,
Right.
and if you only accept handouts, and if you think there's an elevator to success, then it's going to be a tough life for you.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that's great information from both of you. Transparency is key. I was a single parent, and one of the things I always would do, and I was just telling someone this yesterday, I would get my kids in the car. They can't leave the car. I'm driving, and I would give them, some life stories. I'm like you, Ebony. I'm one who shares the things that I've been through.
Yes.
So that way, if you choose the road that's opposite of what I experienced, you can't say you weren't ever told that road might give you some adversities and some challenges and some difficulties, because you heard it from the greatest source you can ever hear from, which is your mom.
Yep.
So I feel as though it's really, really important to kind of just hold on to them, hold on to these teens and engage them at any moment that you can. And I know it can be hard, because I feel like sometimes they're just giving you the attitude. Let's talk about that, the attitude.
Ooh.
They walk in with the energy that isn't great.
Yes.
And then you're trying to persuade them and turn them around from that. And that could be a hard
challenging.
place. It's a hard place. But I feel like, I seen you with Mr. Gau-Wan. I seen you in action. I haven't seen you in action, but I can feel it. I know you're on it. And I feel like the more you keep going, the better off everyone will be. So kudos to both of you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
What are some of your best moments at the Y? Like, can you tell me, Ebony, what's your best moments?
I'm gonna have to say 2 weeks ago when I had over 100 teens show up, like my eyes got so big. Honestly, like, I had to keep it strong. I had to be a G. I didn't want to cry, but in my heart, I'm telling y'all, I wanted to cry. I was like, oh my goodness. And they just kept coming in and coming in and coming in.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was really good. One quick short story. When I had teen night 2 weeks ago, there was a group of boys who came in. I didn't know what school they went to, but it was some younger ones came, and they were like, such and such, oh my goodness, can I get your autograph? Can I take a picture? So I'm like, well, who is this kid? Apparently, he goes to Sanford. He's like top ESPN kid, doing really good at basketball.
Yeah, them Sanford
wow.
basketball
Yeah,
players,
came
they
up,
different.
showed out, but he was humble.
Wow.
Played basketball with the kids. So that was a good moment for me too. I'm just like, I'm doing something right.
Yeah. That feels good. It feels good when you feel like you're doing something.
Yes.
And you're on the right path.
Yes.
Doing the right thing for the right reason.
Yes.
What's your best moment, Mr. Gau-Wan?
I can give you two right off the top of my head. Thank Miss Ebony for letting me think about it because I've been here for a while. But one, I would say, so we adapted this new initiative, YUSA initiative called Boys and Young Men of Color.
Okay.
And over the summer, we had the first opportunity to engage our boys in this program or in this initiative. And, we did some workshops. We spoke about, goals, short-term and long-term goals. We traveled. We went on some field trips. We had some mentors, some of our board members and staff and other, strong Black African-American males came by to support the young fellas. So the ending of this program, we first we took all the fellas to JCPenney's. We did a shopping trip with them. We got everybody, some nice full suits. And for one, I think part one of this great moment was seeing all the fellas and getting fitted for their suits and seeing them, in the mirror looking like, oh yeah, I'm nice. I look nice,
feeling,
And then the last part of our program, we took them to fine dining. So we went to McCormick's and Smith up in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And we did a nice expensive dinner. We spoke about table etiquette. And just seeing those fellas in Philly, just looking around like, oh, I've never been outside of Wilmington, or how do you hold this fork? And what is this, salmon?
Yeah.
So all of that was one of the most rewarding, heartwarming, opportunities
That's
here at the
amazing.
Y,
That's really
and
good.
top three of my Y experiences. And two, I would want to say, and I'm looking at my guy over here, I would want to say one of my my loves, I would say, of my Y is my performing arts program, or our performing arts program, YMCA Essence Legacy Performing Arts. That program started in 2017, and we started out with 4 or 5 individuals, and now we're up to serving 100 teens a year. 100 kids a year. This program definitely is, I would say, one of my best moments, being able to start this program and then being able to set the foundation and grow this program. One component of our Y is really honing in on the arts and self-expression. And that's a program that really helps the students express themselves and learn a lot about themselves, learn a lot about their peers, and build long-lasting relationships. So, I would definitely say our Boys and Young Men of Color, our fine dining would be 1, and then 2, just all
Essence
we've done
Legacy,
with Essence Legacy.
So the first time I heard Essence Legacy perform, and I hope I'm saying it right, the Drillers. Is the Drillers or the Drummers? Which one?
Well, you let me know because we
So
got them both.
it was at the Black Achievers banquet. So which one? Is that the Drillers?
So most likely it was the Drillers. The Drillers are our performers that do theatric dance, but then like military style.
And it was the drums too. So the drums were, so my mouth literally, it was the first time I ever heard them, and I was in all of it. I really was. I think I looked at you differently. I looked at Kenny differently. I just looked at the kids differently. I just wanted to stand up and cheer, but I didn't want to kind of stand out. I don't mind standing out, but
Right.
I didn't want to. But inside of me, I was so excited, like, oh my gosh, this is going on at the Walnut Street YMCA.
Right.
This is one of our programs, and everybody gets to see what is happening here. I absolutely love it. I recorded it, and I think I put it on Facebook, and I just was so excited about it. So that is one of the things that I really kind of stands out for me as well, is Essence Legacy and all the things that you're able to achieve with that particular program here. What are your thoughts on social media? Ooh, social media regarding our teens, like
Social media.
yeah.
First and foremost, social media is like the sunken place for our teens. And I say that because they act like their life depends on it, right? Or they act like that's everything. Whether it's them seeing their favorite artists,
Right.
drop a new song or a trend on TikTok or things like that. But I mean, I don't see all bad, of course. I see like 50-50, but social media is definitely something that kind of holds our teams back, in my opinion, but it also gives them, good exposure.
Right.
I just, I know like back in the day, I'm not that old, but, few years ago, when we did have phones, the internet wasn't as fast, and I might look something up, but then it's taking forever. So I'm putting my phone back in my pocket, and I'm engaging with somebody, or I'm socializing with somebody, and then eventually I can go back on MySpace.
Ooh.
That's old. I think you just aged yourself.
Yes. MySpace,
Play
Facebook.
the music in the background.
You know what I mean? And get back to it. But I'll definitely say there are definitely benefits to social media, but I think a big piece of that, the mental health and the self-esteem, and the confidence come from how they judge themselves through what they see on social media.
Right.
Yes.
So not all bad, but I definitely see like that roadblock, or like how it could hinder our students.
Yeah. I can see that as well. I think that's a big component for their confidence, for their self-esteem.
Yes.
And you want them to be their authentic self, but are they being their authentic self because they're trying to be someone else that they see?
Yes.
So it is like how Mr. Gau-Wan is saying, it is a good components to it. And then there's also the bad side of it as well. And I feel like our phones, even as adults, our phones are everything. We got, I don't even think, do you know your home phone number? Do you know somebody's phone number, or you just
let me look it
rely
up
on the cell phone and just
Right. The name's there.
right. So
Yeah.
I feel like just that human interaction component is missing.
Yes.
For adults, and especially for teens. I think they don't know a lot of the things that we had to experience as it relates to just having that pick up the phone and talk to someone, or not text everything. Everything is text and talk.
Yes.
Text and talk.
That's
so
it.
You're having a whole conversation. You're having a whole dissertation through text and talk. So for me, it's huge. What do you think about that, Ebony?
I feel the same way. Sometimes I tell my kids, take a break from it. Like deactivate your account and just take a break, because I told them sometimes it can be a facade. People are only showing you what they want to show you.
That's true.
At the end of the day, there are some positives, but I tell them, how many people do you really think are going to show you the negative of what's going on in their life? You don't know what's going on behind closed door. You don't know what's going on behind that, that cell phone. I said, so take everything, with a grain of salt. Just be careful.
Right.
Yeah. And one thing about, what we tell our teens as well is not to make assumptions, you know what I mean? When you see things, don't always assume, as you said, that it's all, butterflies and, everything is all good. So, yeah, as you said, that, they kind of put up what they know.
Yes.
People will look at and be like, oh, I wish I had that.
Yep.
The fancy cars, the big house, and a lot of things going on, especially for our young ladies. I'm so happy that you have the program for the young men, and that they have an opportunity to see healthy men of color doing great things, and this is how we carry ourselves, and this is what we do. I would love to have a program for young ladies, because I feel as though we see so many things and we're so geared to want to change who we are,
Speak about
how
it.
we look, and how we move just based off of someone that we see that's huge in the industry. So I would love for, to see like a program for young women of color, or just young women, period, so they can just see that you don't have to be Beyonce, you don't have to be Nicki Minaj, and you don't have to look like them. You don't have to. Did I say Nicki Minaj right? Right? So you don't have to. You don't have to be all these people. You can be yourself.
Yes, be
your
yourself.
Authentic self, because that is what the world needs.
Yes,
is you, not another copy of someone else. So we're going to wrap it up, and I really do appreciate the conversations that we have and have had at this point. So just one more thought really quickly. How do you encourage teens to move forward in life? What do you do? Like, are you, I know you said they call you Mama
Ed.
So if someone comes to you, how do you encourage them?
I'm just open and honest with them. I tell them my door is always open. They have my number. I said, if you need to call me at any point, text, do that.
Right.
Do that. And I've had some kids, reach out to me, Miss Eb, can I let you know what's on my mind? Sure, go ahead. That's no judgment, because I'd rather them come to a trusted person than somebody else.
Right.
And my kids, their friends are the same way with me.
Right.
Same way.
So I like that open door policy, and call me if you need me.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Gau-Wan?
Yeah. So encouragement definitely comes as like a case-by-case basis, depending on what the situation may be or what the conversation may be. But when it comes to encouraging students, I always want to let them know that they should always love themselves, right? Love everything about themselves, and not kind of pick and choose what they want to like about themselves, right? Or like about themselves at different times. That's one thing that I've noticed is teens like to look outside of themselves and compare themselves to other individuals or even other situations. But, as we kind of just stated earlier, them knowing their self, of course, loving their self, and then knowing what's best for them.
Right.
So encouraging them in different situations. And one thing about me, like, I like to give, especially my young fellas, like to give them, real advice and real encouragement when it comes to, hey, your work ethic has to be better. And, this is how you improve your work ethic. And, you have these goals and dreams to be this awesome basketball player. But did you do 100 push-ups last night?
Yeah.
Okay, right? So, or what are you doing towards perfecting your craft or being that outstanding, basketball player? At the end of the day, everybody wants to go to the NBA or the NFL, but it's all about the work ethic.
The work.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's there's no handouts to that.
Right.
So, just giving them, specific encouragement, based off of what the situation or the conversation is, but still being real, and still giving them what they need. And I've had a lot of mentors in my life, a lot of male mentors as well, that have just kind of given me pieces of like who I am. So taking a little bit from them, taking a little bit from coaches and my dad, my grandfather. So it's a village to it. But definitely encouragement is case by case, and a lot of it is all about what the teen feels about theirself and how they can go move past or improve theirself.
Right. So before we go, I want to hear one crazy story that you guys have. Like, maybe you got crazy stories, like like those blooper moments with the teens. Do you got any blooper moments or anything that's kind of like a crazy story that kind of sticks out in your memory about anything, any encounters with them or anything of that nature?
I'm thinking. You really have me stumped right now. I'm thinking.
Well, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Make you think.
I got you. I can think about one of my old teens that's a grown man now, and I'm speaking about Essence Legacy, And I'm sorry, you said what type of moment?
A crazy moment.
A crazy moment.
A crazy moment. Like,
I know. I'm like, I can't.
or like, I can't believe that just happened moment. Like, y'all don't have those moments.
No, we do. It's just
too many to
putting
kind of
putting the finger on
I
it.
told y'all, have those moments in your mind before you come up here.
We could do part two.
Part two, a crazy moment.
Yes.
Crazy moments.
So we'll just keep going on, and we'll just keep. If you got it, then just.
Well, what about you? Tell me one of your crazy moments.
Right, yeah.
And then maybe we'll think about. We'll have a second to ponder upon it.
Well, I don't have a crazy moment. I don't really deal with teens all day long, right?
So is it? Oh, so just with teens?
Yeah,
though.
with
Okay,
teens. So I really
okay.
don't deal with teens
Well,
on
what
a
about
day in, day out basis.
What about your YMCA crazy moment that you've had so far?
I don't know. I don't even know if they're maybe should be labeled as crazy moments. I think for me, every day I work downstairs or I work in the Walnut Street YMCA. I deal with membership. So I have a lot of moments where I might have irate parents who are upset that their kids aren't coming down a little bit faster than what they should. I have little kids who come in from school and want to stand behind the desk and tell me everything about their day. So I don't know if they're more so crazy moments or just moments that I've literally have had with everyone that I come in contact with. And one thing about me, I really don't take it lightly, the interactions that I have with the kids. I absolutely love it. I feel like I'm the auntie, the grandma, everybody, all encompassing. The sister, when you come in, I'm having a conversation with the parents and engaging them in different things and what's going on with them. So I feel like I have the best position, in the world. I feel like I got, it's like the usher when you come into the church. Like, you're the first point of contact. So I appreciate the position that I hold. I don't know if I could do a teen position and deal with those emotions all day. But other than that, so I want to thank both of you for coming to our studio and sharing your teen experiences in this moment with me on today. I really appreciate it. It allows me to get the essence of who you are and the things that you're trying to achieve with our teens. It's a great opportunity that our teens have to engage with both of you.
Thank you.
Miss Ebony and Mr. Gau-Wan.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you to our listeners. Keep tuning in for our new episodes that are coming up. And continue to listen, continue to engage with us. Share our platform. If you haven't yet, tune in. We're on all streaming platforms. So just tune in and see what's coming up next. We appreciate you. Y Conversations, Spark Studios. We want to say thank you to Mr. Gau-Wan Smith, Walnut Street YMCA, and Miss Ebony.
Thank you.
What's your last name, Miss Ebony?
Tessin.
And she's at our Bear Glasgow YMCA.
Yes.
So I appreciate you both. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome. I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Jared.
This is Y Conversations, where we inspire,
Engage,
uplift,
and motivate change around our lives.
Brought to you by YMCA of Delaware, Spark Studios.